Dorothy Edwards. When my sister was a naughty little girl, she was very, very inquisitive. She was always looking and peeping into things that didn't belong to her. She used to open other people's cupboards and boxes just to find out what was inside. Aren't you glad you're not inquisitive like that? Well, now, one day a lot of workmen came to dig up all the roads near our house, and my little sister was very interested in them. They were very nice men, but some of them had rather loud, shouty voices sometimes. There were shoveling men and picking men, and men with jumping about things that went ah, and men who drank tea out of jam pots, and men who cooked sausages over fires. And there was an old, old man who sat up all night when the other men had gone home, and who had a lot of coats and scarves to keep him warm. There were lots of things for my little inquisitive sister to see. There were heaps of earth and red lanterns for the old, old man to light at night time, and long poley things to keep the people from falling down the holes in the road, and workmen's huts, and many other things. When the workmen were in our road, my little sister used to watch them every day. She used to lean over the gate and stare, but when they went off to the next road, she didn't see so much of them. Well now, I will tell you about the inquisitive thing my little sister did one day, shall I? Yes. Well, do you remember Bad Harry, who was my little sister's best boy friend? Now this Bad Harry came one day to ask my mother if my little sister could go round to his house to play with him. And as Bad Harry's house wasn't far away, and as there were no roads to cross, my mother said my little sister could go. So my little sister put on her hat and her coat and her scarf and her gloves, because it was a nasty cold day, and went off with her best boy friend to play with him. They hurried along like good children until they came to the workmen in the next road, and then they went slow as slow, because there were so many things to see. They looked at this and at that, and when they got past the workmen they found a very curious thing. By the road there was a tall hedge, and under the tall hedge there was a mackintoshy bundle. Now this mackintoshy bundle hadn't anything to do with Bad Harry, and it hadn't anything to do with my naughty little sister. Yet, do you know, they were so inquisitive they stopped and looked at it. They had such a good look at it that they had to get right under the hedge to see, and when they got very near it they found it was an old mackintosh wrapped round something or other inside. Weren't they naughty? They should have gone straight home to Bad Harry's mother's house, shouldn't they? But they didn't. They stayed and looked at the mackintoshy bundle, and they opened it, they really did. It wasn't their bundle, but they opened it wide under the hedge, and do you know what was inside it? I know you aren't an inquisitive, meddlesome child, but would you like to know? Well, inside the bundle there were lots and lots of parcels and packages tied up in red handkerchiefs and brown paper and newspaper, and instead of putting them back again like nice children, those little horrors started to open all those parcels. And inside those parcels there were lots of things to eat. There were sandwiches and cakes and meat pies and cold-cooked fish and eggs and goodness knows what all. Weren't those bad children surprised? They couldn't think how all those sandwiches and things could have got into that old mackintosh. Then Bad Harry said, "Shall we eat some?" You remember he was a greedy lad. But my little sister said, "No, it's picked up food." My little sister knew that my mother had told her never, never to eat picked up food. You see, she was good about that. Only she was very bad after, because she said, "I know, let's play with it." So they took out all those sandwiches and cakes and meat pies and cold-cooked fish and eggs, and they laid them out across the path and made them into pretty patterns on the ground. Then Bad Harry threw a sandwich at my little sister, and she threw a meat pie at him, and they began to have a lovely game. And then do you know what happened? A big roary voice called out, "What are you doing with our dinners, you monkeys, you?" And there was a big workman coming towards them, looking so cross and angry that those two bad children screamed and screamed. And because the workman was so roary, they turned and ran back down the road, and the workmen ran right after them, as cross as cross. Weren't they frightened? When they got back to where the other workmen were digging, those children were more frightened than ever, because the big workman shouted to all the other workmen about what those naughty children had done with their dinners. Yes, those poor workmen had put all their dinners under the hedge in the old mackintosh to keep them dry and safe until dinner time. As well as being frightened, Bad Harry and my naughty little sister were very ashamed. They were so ashamed that they did a most silly thing. When they heard the big workmen telling the others about their dinners, those silly children ran and hid themselves in one of the pipes that the workmen were putting in the road. My naughty little sister went first, and old Bad Harry went after her. Because my naughty little sister was so frightened, she wriggled in and in the pipe, and Bad Harry came wriggling in after her because he was frightened too. And then a dreadful thing happened to my naughty little sister. That Bad Harry stuck in the pipe, and he couldn't get any further. He was quite a round fat boy, you see, and he stuck fast in the pipe. Then didn't those sillies howl and howl. My little sister howled because she didn't want to go on and on down the roadman's pipe on her own, and Bad Harry howled because he couldn't move at all. It was all terrible, of course, but the Rory workman rescued them very quickly. He couldn't reach Bad Harry with his arm, but he got a long hooky iron thing, and he hooked it in Bad Harry's belt, and pulled, and presently he pulled Bad Harry out of the pipe. Wasn't it a good thing they had the hooky iron? And wasn't it a very good thing that Bad Harry had a strong belt on his coat? When Bad Harry was out, my little sister wriggled back, and came out too, and when she saw all the poor workmen who wouldn't have any dinner, she cried, and told them what a sorry girl she was. She told the workmen that she and Bad Harry hadn't known the mackintoshy bundle was their dinners, and Bad Harry said he was sorry too, and they were really so truly ashamed that the big workman said, "Well, never mind this time. It's payday today, so we can send the boy for fish and chips instead." And he told my little sister not to cry any more. So my little sister stopped crying, and she and Bad Harry said they would never meddle and be inquisitive again.